Hi there, it's Robert Bruce Anderson again, and I'm on to the fifth, oh my nerves, I've forgotten, I think the fifth research video in the Start Your Own Woodworking Business course, okay? Again, we've done this. Now you've done all your brainstorming, you've taken your product ideas, you've tested them on craft markets, trade shows, you've looked at magazines, you've been through the whole system, and you're down to a short list of items that you now think these are the creatures you want to make, okay? Your wooden product list. Now, I'm going to cover all of this in one shot, but you need to know that thinking that it's a good idea to make something and actually making it might not be the same thing. Yeah, I look at, for example, people that make these stunning chessboards out of exotic wood combinations, yeah? And it's just a chopping block in a way. And the thing is that these guys have got machinery. Every time I go to the YouTube videos and look, is like that I wish I could own. It's more than the value of my house, and it's cool. Happy that they've got that, and now, in my opinion, they are just churning them out. It's a mass production system. They buy a huge investment of blocks of wood, and then they slice it into strips, and they put them into squares, and they glue and clamp, and then they go to the next level, and then they put it through the thickness and through the planer, etc. And in the end, they sand it down, and they route the edges, and boom. And out of all of that, they get 60 or 100 or whatever chess sets. Now, here's the problem. That's cool if you don't need that crafting end of it that I do, and you're happy to mass produce a production line system. That's cool, but allow for that when you think of it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And know that you have to now find a way to get rid of 100 or 300 chessboards that you can make a month out of wood, and out of exotic wood that's not cheap. Remember, I can go to a local store and get a cheap chess set that's been sandblasted into glass. Hell, for a tiny fraction of the price of a beautifully done wooden one. So take care when you do that, and that's what you have to think about. Incidentally, it's probably better just to do them as chopping boards, and then you've got to take into account things like the glues and things that people might ask you, is it safe on my chopping board, or sort of oils and things. So there's slightly different researches for this section of it, checking the costing of it. Let's go into something slightly more complicated. Let's go with kids' toys. Sorry, I'm just sucking any idea out of my head to give you an example as to how I like to have you think about it. Kiddies' toys, remember, you've now looked at wooden kids' toys as an idea on all of these. You've looked and seen pictures everywhere, and you've now got a list of kids' toys. You've probably got pictures of 300 things you could be making, and that's fine. For example, sorry, I'm giving my age away here. Well, I've told you 56, but in my youth, there was these wooden sort of sticks and a piece of leather where you'd put a money note, in other words, of money, $10, 10 rands, into this thing, and you folded it in a certain way, and when you opened it again, it was gone. It was a trick thing, a gimmick toy, okay? I happen to know that those would be very quick and easy to sell, and if you could find those toys that were tricks, there were quite a few of them. Things that did other things and things that stretched. They were almost mechanical, a combination wood and material or strings, etc. toys that did stuff that was fun. And now if you made a big stock of those and you went to the craft markets and the big country shows where there are thousands of feet going through over a weekend, you could probably do very well with those, and then still sell them on the Amazon sites or the classified sites and get away with more than enough business from that. Now, the cost of making those are low, but the risk of selling them are lots. It means you've got to work pretty hard. Not dangerous like, oh, nobody wants them. They will sell, okay? Now, compare that to a toy that is done in your carving, laser cutting thing. Sorry, I forgot the word in a previous video. I still haven't got it in my head. But anyway, jigsaw, that's the word. So you've got this fancy jigsaw machine that you can run through and do copy cutting, 10 at a time. And all it is you're doing is simply just doing elephant cutouts out of a block, and you're selling it as a kid's puzzle. There's a very high chance you will sell hundreds more of those. And again, shippable, they can go to wholesaling, there's so many other ways you could sell them. Down here in the marketing options, I'll go through all of that with you, and you can look at all that. Incidentally, sorry, just as a by the way, I highly suggest that you go through this whole course before you go back to the top, because you would then consider the marketing options like that in your research. So in other words, if, let's say, those kitty puzzles, which will work on the craft markets very, very well, you epoxy paint them, that's in child safe paint, blah, blah, put them in child safe packets, which means really a bag, no plastic. You get where I'm going, and you do all of this and you make it so new world and child safe, and yet it's still a traditional kiddies toy that kids love. And you could manufacture those and sell them through every single aspect, including wholesaling, including agents that I'll later refer to. So those are the kind of things that in your analysis here of material costs and your manufacturing costs, you've got to start looking at, okay? You've got to allow in your thinking, sorry about my stuff, but now I quite enjoy stuff, things like shipping. If you're going to be making those kiddie puzzle things, those are going to ship quick because they flat pack, yeah? Hell, you can do a flat pack bench, you can ship them. But if you're not shipping a bench flat pack, you're going to pay more than the cost of the bench in shipping, I think. Here in South Africa we do. Storage. If you've got these benches all built up and you've got pink ones, blue ones, purple ones, you've got stained ones, you've got limed wash ones, you've got 3-seater, 2-seater, 1-seaters, you've got ones with high backs and one with a curving seat and cushion ones, and you've got stock of 10 of each of those, where they're going to be kept. So you've got to bear that in mind, okay? Whereas if you had that kind of range in your kiddie toy puzzle trick system option, if you had all of that, it will fit into your hell under your bed, not quite, but you get where I'm going. So it can store. Deterioration. Remember, if you're storing stuff where it could be in a damp environment and there could be wood borer, those creatures, termites heading your way and things, you have to bear that in mind, that you don't have this entire warehouse of stock that you're so pleased you've got because you've got enough stock for 2 years, and then you have an infestation of some sort that, or rain or damp or snow, temperature deterioration. You all know, guys, wood can do all sorts of evil cracking and rotting stuff if you're not too careful. That's, by the way, not counting in your research here the indoor-outdoor issues. In other words, wood that's treated and not treated and different varnishes for the sun. Bear all of that in mind too. So, showroom versus store. This is another thing you have to consider from your cost point of view. And now quite a few of these have folded down into the business plan section. But the showroom versus store, if you owned a store, your store becomes a bit of your showroom. You can put all your stock in there and pile it up behind, carefully piled up on racks all the way to the ceiling, all the purple benches up there. So when they get all the colors, so when they get there, there's just a purple one on the floor, and they look and say, "Oh, the yellow one's beautiful," and they point. But you can't get it down without a stick or whatever. So bear it in mind, a showroom in your house is not necessarily the best and most cleverest with huge items, unless you've got this, plot of land, small farm, and then you've got farm-me feeling stuff. If somebody's coming to you to buy, let's give you an example, the most fancy, exotic, very, very cutting-edge, high-tech wooden furniture, beautiful, I'm talking, high-end stuff, brand name things. And they pitch up and you've got this on a farm with chickens running everywhere. They're not going to be able to relate to that, and it's not going to work. You need to be in an expensive store somewhere and charge 20 times the price. They're happy to pay for that. They've arrived there and they've parked in the parking, gone in a lift, had an expensive cup of coffee and bought something from you for $30,000. You get where I'm going? It's how it works. Pitch up on your farmhouse showroom and you go to get the dust off of this expensive furniture, and in their heads they're not going to see it as 30,000. They want to give you 3,000, and it's the way it works. Don't take expensive stuff to the craft markets. You've got to put it in the environment they think it should be sold in. This will work if you don't want to have a store in mall space. Mall space marketing is a different thing. It's down in the marketing story here below. It's worth looking into. Okay, I'm on 10 minutes here for the stuff, so let me wind it up for you. These are all costs and things you have to consider. I can't go into all the details for you because every item will have different things to think about. You have to, from your research, go back and think about it. So if you're just making those flat pack, jigsaw cutout, laser cut, kiddie puzzles, that's cool. Think then of, what is it going to cost me? How am I going to store it? How much would do? How many stock? Do I have to? Can I? This kind of thing. Okay, go through it all. See referred courses for more. One of the courses I suggest you go to is a pretty commonly available course online on how to start a woodworking business. Please, guys, buy it through my link if you can. It's part of why I give you this for free. In fact, it's 80%. No, not quite. It's 25 or 30% of why I give you this course. This might not be for free, but well, I've got free versions of how to start your woodworking business. I don't know if this is free or paid yet until I'm finished. Sorry. But anyway, it says that you please use my affiliate links if possible. Go to the PDF I've given to you and use those links to go and look at the courses that I do refer you to or recommend as an option for you to look at in more detail. And the reason I'm mentioning it here is in those courses, some of them have got a lot of details on this. It's where, and the business plan, it's where they are far stronger than I am in giving you ideas for that kind of thing. Having said that, because I can't go into from bird folding fishing tables with drawers to inlaid custom made doors, each one is so different in its problems. It's where you can come along to my things to make and sell group on Facebook. Join and ask me there. Say, hi Rob, please. I would love to, sorry about this. I would love to you to help me more on just looking at whether I would make money with hand carved street names or street numbers. I doubt you will. So you get what I'm going. I'll do a bit of research for you on that. Okay, I'm done. I'm going to jump into the business plan for the next one, although it won't be a very long one, the next video. Thanks. Cheers.